कहा कि बर्फ के बिना सरकार गुलमर्ग को बढ़ावा नहीं दे सकती और कश्मीर के पर्यटन क्षेत्र विशेषकर शीतकालीन पर्यटन स्थलों पर जलवायु परिवर्तन के प्रभाव को नजरअंदाज नहीं किया जा सकता। वहीं मुख्यमंत्री ने ये टिप्पणी श्रीनगर के शेरे कश्मीर अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सम्मेलन केंद्र में एडवेंचर टूर ऑपरेटर्स एसोसिएशन ऑफ इंडिया के 57वें वार्षिक सम्मेलन के उद्घाटन के मौके पर की। वहीं सभा को संबोधित करते हुए मुख्यमंत्री उमर अब्दुल्ला ने कहा कि रोमांच की भावना का जश्न मनाने वाला इस कार्यक्रम का हिस्सा बनना उनके लिए घर वापसी जैसा है। गर्म हवा के गुब्बारे में उड़ान भरने से लेकर शिखर पर पहुंचने के विनम्र अनुभव तक अपने साहसिक अनुभवों को याद करते हुए उन्होंने कहा कि शिखर पर पहुंचने के लिए एवरेस्ट को छूना जरूरी नहीं है। उन्होंने कश्मीर के पर्यटन क्षेत्र विशेषकर गुलमर्ग जैसे शीतकालीन पर्यटन स्थलों पर जलवायु परिवर्तन के प्रभाव को रेखांकित किया और उन्होंने कहा कि अगर बर्फ नहीं होगी तो मैं गुलमर्ग को बेच नहीं पाऊंगा। जलवायु परिवर्तन की वास्तविकता को अब नज़रअंदाज जो है वो नहीं किया जा सकता और हम ग्लेशियरों को पिघलते और बर्फबारी को कम होते देख रहे हैं। ये ऐसे तथ्य हैं जिनका हमें सामना करना होगा। मुख्यमंत्री ने उद्योग से स्कीइंग और साथ ही शीतकालीन पर्यटन को बनाए रखने के लिए कृषि बर्फ बनाने और साथ ही नई तकनीकों का इस्तेमाल करने का भी आग्रह किया। और क्या कुछ कहा इस दौरान मुख्यमंत्री उमर अब्दुल्ला ने, आप खुद सुनिए।
Friends, my skiing guru Javed Saab sitting right here. Great to see you here as well. Yeah. So, adventure.
Padma Shri recipient Ajit Bajaj Sahab, Director Tourism Kashmir, Qamar Sajjad Sahab, Director Tourism Jammu, Vikas Gupta Sahab, Vice President of the Adventure Tour Operators Association of India, Vaibhav Kala Sahab, my friends and colleagues from the J&K tourism industry, delegates attending the 17th Annual Adventure Tour Operators Association of India Convention, officers of the Government of Jammu and Kashmir, Government of India, ladies and gentlemen. I have the proud distinction of being given the opportunity to summarize everything that has been said before, because there is nothing new left for me to say now. Everything that I wanted to say has effectively and very eloquently been said by Mr. Bajaj, Mr. Billa, Farooq Shah Sahab and Nasir, and I am left here just to summarize all the points that they have made before me. But before I come to that, I would particularly like to thank Mr. Bajaj, because it's not often that I get to do not one but two things for the very first time in my life. I went up in a hot air balloon, which I haven't done before, tethered as it was. I have been promised that the next time I won't have to cut the ropes myself, they will be untied for me. So that was a first, and I never expected to touch the summit of Mount Everest, with the caveat that unlike Mr. Bajaj, who actually did all the hard work to go up there and bring back a small piece of the mountain, I got to touch the summit of Mount Everest sitting in a very comfortable chair in this warm hall. But be that as it may, it was still a first for me. And in all the sort of tokens that I'm given at events like this, believe me when I tell you that this will be by far the most memorable. And if somebody is able to bring me back a piece of the moon, that is the only way this will be beaten. So thank you very much. Thank you also, Ajit, for being the sort of the brains and the guiding force behind this. I can't, nor can any of my colleagues take credit for you being here. This was purely his idea. He was the one who got sort of behind this. He was the one who pushed us. Files in government sometimes move very slowly. Files in government sometimes stop moving entirely. This process also sort of stopped and started, but you can see why it is that he has not only reached both the South Pole and the North Pole, done the 7 summits and so much more, because once he gets started on something, he doesn't give up until it's actually done. So the fact that we are here today, assembled in this hall, is much less to do with me and my colleagues. I think if I was to apportion percentages to it, then I would be generous in giving us about 5% of the credit, and I would leave 95% of the credit for Mr. Bajaj and his team. So thank you very much. It is a fact that Jammu and Kashmir is ideally placed as a destination for adventure tourism. In fact, in some respects, some areas of adventure tourism started in Jammu and Kashmir long before they started in other parts of the country. Now, I don't mean this as a point of competition, but we were skiing in Gulmarg before India attained independence. We had our first ski lift put there, if I'm not mistaken, by the British. And that lift lasted us for a very, very long time. In fact, my first experience with skiing was actually using that lift. And it's only later that additional infrastructure was added. Government of India at that time gave us a chairlift, and the government of Jammu and Kashmir added more infrastructure. That continues today. Unfortunately, while the infrastructure has been added, the reality of climate change can no longer be wished away or ignored. And all of us, particularly those of you who come from hill states or hill territories like ours, are living the reality of climate change. It's visible wherever we go. And unfortunately, I don't believe that it is talked about as much as it needs to be. You can't have adventure tourism unless we can protect the areas where people want to visit for adventure tourism. I can't sell Gulmarg as a destination for skiing if I don't have snow. I can't sell glaciers as destinations for ice climbing or mountaineering if those glaciers are going to melt. Unfortunately, we see those glaciers receding in front of our own eyes. I remember not too long ago, when I was in school, you barely had to walk up from Sonmarg and you reach the base of the glacier there. Today, to get to the base of the glacier at the best of times is a long trek. And therefore, while we are talking about promoting adventure tourism, while we're talking about promoting adventure tourism destinations, I think we also have a responsibility to try and do as much as we can to protect the environment, to make sure our tourism is responsible, sustainable, and to the best extent possible. I know that it's not something that we can do singularly, but at least try and reverse some of the effects of global warming, so that the adventure tourism that I and Ajit and all of you have enjoyed in our lifetime is available to our children and grandchildren going ahead. It would be not just a tragedy, but I think in some respects a crime if we don't recognize the challenges that we're facing. I mean, every year I see reports of ski resorts in Europe actually closing down because they're not sustainable with the current levels of snow. And it's a fact. If Gulmarg had been a private ski destination rather than government supported, it's quite possible that Gulmarg as a ski destination today would cease to exist, because at the moment we barely get snow for, if I'm not mistaken, if we're lucky, a month. If the season is really long, perhaps a month and a half. And I come from a generation where we used to start skiing in December, and we skied all the way at least up until March. That's why we now start looking at bringing in new technology, which the West has already brought in, but perhaps now we need to introduce, which is to generate artificial snow, because the ambient temperature is below zero. It's just an absence of precipitation. that stops us from skiing there. So these are some of the things that we're going to be looking at. Obviously, Jammu and Kashmir is not just about skiing, it's about whitewater rafting, it's about trekking, it's about mountaineering. At the moment we don't have, we are also, we've recently trained a batch of instructors and pilots for paragliding. We don't have anything in the hot air ballooning category, but we made a small start today, and possibly that will go further. So the opportunities are there. The base is there, but let's be honest. The problems are there as well. The problems of perception, the problems of dealing with a situation not of our making. This year, for all of us associated with the tourism industry, has been a difficult year. The season started with the unfortunate incident in Vaisaran. It was compounded by the unseasonally heavy rains in the middle of the year, and unfortunately it pretty much ended with what happened in Delhi a few weeks ago. So while we are making every effort to try and keep the wheels of tourism in Jammu and Kashmir turning over, we're also fighting against a situation that is not of our making. And in this, I think all credit goes to my friends and colleagues who are part of the Jammu and Kashmir tourism industry, because only they know how they survive in uncertain times. It really is a testament to their tenacity, their strength, and their commitment, because most other people would have put their hands up and said, look, I can't do this any longer. But here we are, still plugging away, doing our best to ensure that tourism continues to flourish. And for us, adventure tourism is an important part of it, because it takes people into areas that would otherwise sort of not be natural destinations for tourism. So for us, while the leisure tourism, MICE tourism are important aspects of tourism promotion, adventure tourism opens areas of Jammu and Kashmir that would otherwise not see regular tourist traffic and tourist arrivals. So therein again is perhaps one of the reasons why I was so keen to partner with Mr. Bajaj and his organization, so that adventure tourism would get a fillip. And the point that was made earlier is one that I think we need to keep sort of repeating, which is that yes, there is an element of danger in adventure tourism. There has to be, otherwise the adrenaline doesn't flow. But there is a difference between it being dangerous and it being suicidal. Adventure tourism is not another word for organized suicide. It's for doing something exciting, but doing it in a manner that is safe, doing it in a manner that is sustainable, and doing it in a manner that is repeatable. And therefore, for those of us who are sort of trying to promote adventure tourism, or who are part of adventure tourism, I think there is a huge responsibility on our shoulders to ensure that people who entrust their lives to us, we actually take care of them. We ensure that we hand them back to their families in exactly the same condition that we got them in, perhaps with slightly higher blood pressure, maybe a little bit more of a palpitation, but nothing more damaging than that. So the work that the Adventure Tour Operators Association of India is doing in terms of setting up guidelines for safe adventure tourism, I think is an excellent one, and we look forward to working together with you so that all adventure tourism in Jammu and Kashmir is safe adventure tourism. So with that, I can only thank Mr. Bajaj and all of you for being here.